Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So it is that time of year again. It is time for the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palettes. They are out. I did order all three, and well, the three that are available. The horse palette I believe will be a Sephora exclusive, and it will be pre-sale on September 5th on the app. But I got the three that were listed on the Hourglass website. I did overnight them, so I have all three. Rather than doing one video, I'm going to do what I've done in the past because it has been well received, is I'm going to be doing individual videos for each palette, so I can just kind of dig a little bit deeper into each palette, and they will also be shorter. So if you are only interested in the deer palette or whatever it's called, then you can just watch that one. And that's what today is. Today is going to be the deer palette, which is going to be the lightest palette. And as you can see, I just have minimal makeup, just foundation, no eyeshadow. So I will be placing it all on my face and kind of trying it. And fortunately with this palette, there's only two blushes, so I can just do a blush on each side. And let's get into it. So as always, these palettes come out every year. Price goes up every year. Last year they had gone up to $90, and this year they are $94. So I don't advise you to buy all three. I do have the affiliate link. I do not have a promo code with Hourglass. I will put a promo code in one that I think works, and I will put it ones that I find in the description box, but it is not mine. But this is the deer palette. So this is the lightest one. Like I said, they're $94 this year. I'm wondering next year if they will get to 100. Maybe in 2 years they'll get to 100, but they're going to hit $100 soon. But this is the artwork. So the artwork is beautiful. I still have the plastic on it, which I like to leave, but it's beautiful. I think my favorite of these three is the swan. So that's the swan, and then we'll show the fox, which is the deepest one. But this is the one we're going to talk about today. Now I do have, this is the one that has the layout that I personally do not like. It has two finishing powders, two blushes, and then a highlighter and a bronzer. I personally like it with three blushes and only one finishing powder, but a lot of people, like the two finishing powders because this is the only Hourglass product they have. So that is fine. That is your choice. And that's why they have different styles. But personally for me, I prefer the ones that have only one finishing powder and the three blushes. But this is the palette. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the shades really quick. So the first two right here are the finishing powders. We have Dreamlight, and then we have Aura Light. Aura Light is new. Then the third shade right here is the bronzer. This is Diffuse Bronze Light. Then on the bottom, we have the highlighter, which is the Iridescent Strobe Light. Then on the bottom are the two blushes. We have Radiant Peach and Vibrant Pink. Both of those are new shades. One of the things I like about these two is that they are very different. You've got a peach shade and a pink shade, both new shades. I really like that for this palette. Now, where can you see these shades before? So the three existing shades. So there's three new shades. Three new shades again are this powder right here, Aura Light, and then the two blushes. The three shades that we've seen before. So we have this finishing powder we've seen in Dragon. It is Dreamlight. So we've seen that in the Dragon palette last year, which was also the lightest palette. Then we have the bronzer. This is not, I couldn't find a palette that it is, but it is a permanent bronzer shade, but I couldn't find if it was in any palettes in the past. And then the highlighter as well is a permanent highlighter. The highlighter is the most subtle highlighter of the three. It's a very kind of, and I did do swatches and I'm going to show them, but it's a very kind of not metallic, very, very day friendly, I guess you could say, highlighter. A little underwhelming for me. If I want a highlighter, I want a highlighter. So actually the highlighter for me was a little underwhelming. But let's go ahead and take a look. This is the swatches in Natural Sunlight. So here you have again, the first two are the finishing powders, which are hard to kind of show in a swatch. But then you have the bronzer, the highlighter, and then the 2 blushes. And like I said before, the 2 the 2 blushes I think are very, very different, really, really nice. So now let's take a look at the swatches of just the blushes from these 3 palettes. So the first 2 are the blushes from this palette, the peach and the pink, and you can see they're really nice and different. Then the next 3 are the ones from the Swan palette. Again, this is a medium tone palette. And then the last 3 are the ones from the darkest palette, which is the Fox palette, which interesting enough has the lightest of the blushes. So that one, I think it's Lucid Glow, is a very light blush. It's actually the lightest blush of all 3 palettes, even though that is the deepest of the palettes. The next swatch is, or the next picture is going to be the swatches of the highlighters. And here you can really see how the highlighter for this palette is very subtle. So that is, again, the first highlighter is the one from the Deer palette, then we have the one from Swan, and then Fox. And Fox, usually it's a lot deeper. This is one, it's still too deep for me, but it's not as deep as the ones in the past. And then you have the 3 bronzers. So you have the bronzer from the Deer palette, the first one, that is a existing shade. Then you have the one from Swan, and then the last one is the one from Fox, which is a new bronzer. The one in Swan is the one that was in Evil Eye last year. So those are the comparisons for the swatches. Hopefully that helps. The Fox palette, I will say, is not as deep, and I know that's been a complaint about, is that it's, you know, Hourglass is hasn't been as inclusive. So it's deep, but it's not nearly as deep as the ones that have been in the past. So I'm curious about that, because I know that those are usually the darkest ones are usually the last to sell out. But I know that's been a complaint from people, that it's not as inclusive. So I'd be interested. I'll never find out, but I'd be interested as to why they're doing that. But besides that, let's go ahead and try this baby on. Okay, so first up, I'm just gonna take the two finishing powders. You're really not gonna be able to see, but I just kind of wanted to put them on each side. So I'm gonna start with the first one, which is Dreamlight, and I'm gonna just put it on this eye here. And it's very, very subtle. I actually really like these finishing powders. I really like the shades of these, but I'm just going to put them kind of under my eye, and you know, probably won't be able to see the difference, but I did want to show that. For the bronzer, I am going to go ahead and put the bronzer as an eyeshadow. That's what I do every single time. I will use this one as a bronzer as well, because I can. This one and Swan are definitely ones that I can do the bronzers for, but I did want to just kind of put it as an eyeshadow so you can see it. I love using these palettes. I'll take these on vacation, and especially when I go on a cruise, I can kind of do a whole look, especially a day look, with just one palette. And it's something that I do. Now, I have decluttered a lot of my Hourglass palettes. I've been really trying to get my my collection down to a reasonable amount. And what I realized is I really only need one of these Hourglass palettes. Like I don't need the collection. I was keeping them so that I could do swatches in every year. And at some point it just becomes overwhelming. So for my own mental health, I decluttered and I only have Leopard, and I use it regularly. So that is the bronzer on the eye. I think it's really pretty. I'm not gonna do the eyeshadow. I'm not gonna do it as a bronzer yet, because I wanna put the 2 blushes on. And then now let's go and let's start with the peach one. I'm gonna put the peach one on this side, and you'll see here. So this is just, I mean, these are really pretty. I really like these 2 shades. I think they're just really pretty. Kind of just really nice, not too glowy blushes. I'm gonna put a little bit more, but I mean, I have enough there, but I'm gonna put a little bit more just so you can really see it. Gorgeous blush. I'm gonna switch my blush here. So that's the peach. And then I'm gonna put on the pink on this side. Let's get enough here and put the pink on. This palette is a little light for me. I could definitely make this one work, and I won't say it's too light for me. It's too light for my personal preference. I do like, I tend to like the medium tones more. Plus I like one that has 3 blushes. So this is really pretty. So you can definitely see there's subtle differences, but this is a pink, this is a peach, really pretty. So that's gonna give you the two. So it's gonna give you really two different looks in this palette. Now I'm gonna go in with the highlighter and just kind of highlight. Again, it's, you don't have to worry about going too light-handed on this one. The one from Swan, I will, because the one from Swan is pretty metallic. But this one it's a nice, subtle highlighter. You know, honestly, I'll be honest, the highlighter in this one is a little underwhelming. For me, but you know, let me know what you think. I think if you are one that really likes highlighters, then you probably won't like it. If you are one that highlighter something that you do, but you don't like that glowy look, then you probably love it. So, but let me go ahead, and then also I'm going to go in now. This with this palette, you just want to be careful, especially with the bronzer. You just want to take a brush, and what I do is I usually kind of hold it here to get it, so that I don't want to get like the blush when I'm doing, especially the bronzer. So now I'm going to take the bronzer and I'm going to put it on the rest of the face. So really pretty. Again, this is the lightest one. Really pretty. I remember liking Dragon last year. But I think I liked it for the same reason, because I liked that the two blushes were very different. And so overall, I think this is a beautiful palette. Okay, so here it is with the bronzer and everything. I really like this palette. I think it's a really gorgeous palette. It is just a little too light for my preference. I actually think the blushes are perfect, but the highlighter for me is a little too light and like just kind of a little too subtle. And then actually my favorite thing from this palette are probably the two finishing powders, because I think they are absolutely stunning and are very brightening. So I do think the two finishing powders, so if you are someone who likes the two finishing powders and you are lighter in skin tone, you will probably love this. I love the blushes. I think, you know, you just have two really different blushes, a peach and a pink. The bronzer is a little light for me, but it does, you know, it does work. And I tend to go heavy with my bronzer, so a light bronzer might be a good thing. But again, it is $94. So if you have Dragon from last year, or the jellyfish from the year previous, then maybe you don't need this. I don't have a swatch. I don't have pictures of the swatches from jellyfish, but I do have a picture from last year for Dragon. So here are a side-by-side comparisons of the pictures of the swatches. So just to kind of give you an idea, I think if you have Dragon from last year, then you don't need this palette. Or if you just want it, you know, and you want like a new fresh one and you want to declutter that one, then do that. But they're very similar, so you're not going to need two palettes. And then I did want to give an alternative. So if you are, you know, you don't really care for the finishing powders, that's not something you really use, Sephora has this. So this is the Colorful Face palette. They have 3 shades. This is the light to medium one. This is $24. Now, is it the quality of Hourglass? Absolutely not. It's actually pretty thick. You know, it's a clear, it's plastic, but it's a nice palette. But it's got pretty much, if you look at the two blushes, the blushes are very similar. So you've got a peach and a pink one, and then you have a highlighter and a bronzer. And the shades are very similar. So you can, this is $24. If it's available during the Sephora sale, it'll be 30% off. I have used this. It's very powdery, but it is very nice. Is it the quality of Hourglass? No. But it's a very nice palette. You know, if you are looking for somebody for a gift, I think it's a really good, and you don't want to spend $94. This is $24, so really great there. But anyway, so that's going to be the first one for the Hourglass Ambient, whatever they're called, Ambient Lighting Unlocked palettes. I think that's the name for 2025, but this is the Deer palette. Stay tuned. I will be doing videos for the Swan and the Fox coming up. I will be posting them as soon as I can record them and edit them. So with that, and then also there'll be an affiliate link. If you do purchase, there is an affiliate link. It's always great if you can use my affiliate link because it helps me. I use that to purchase these products to make these videos. So as you can see, I haven't been doing that many videos because I'm really trying to rein in my spending. So I'm limiting to what I purchase and that's the reason why. But if you do use my affiliate link, it does help me so I can do these types of videos. But with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.